I feel it with you, you know. That's part of self-care, just embracing.
Do you know that there's still a chance for you? There's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Own the night like the 4th of July. Amen.
Amen.
I'm feeling refreshed.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey besties, I'm Faith Okay.
And I'm Asia the Girl.
Welcome to Okay Girl.
Welcome back.
It's sleepover night,
Dude,
girls.
I hope that you're all ready and you have your masks with you and little crafts that we can do together.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell us all about your crushes or boyfriends. We want to know everything.
Yeah. Get all your secrets ready.
Yes.
Get your PJs on.
Yeah. Are
Get
you a
snacks.
PJ girl?
No.
I mean, you
This
look
is
great,
my
though.
closest.
Yeah.
I am like, I'm either like sweatpants and t-shirt, or I do, Nick and I do, big shirt is what we call it.
Yeah.
And it's just that we buy a 3X t-shirt.
Yes.
And
Dude, that's what this
what we
is.
wear.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm Pooh bearing it.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
like a 3X t-shirt.
Right.
And so obviously I couldn't do that on the podcast for reasons. But
Hey, we're all girlies here. It's been fine. Totally fine.
so I grabbed my Christmas pajama pants and I was like,
love
this
them.
Mickey shirt kind of goes. It's giving
Yeah.
like middle school sleepover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So cute.
At least my middle school sleepover. This is
Oh,
what I
yeah.
wore because I've never been a pajama girl.
Have you had a lot of sleepovers like
Yeah.
growing up?
Yeah. Were you a sleepover kid?
I feel like I had like 4.
We need
Well,
to have
okay.
sleepovers.
Actually, okay. But there was this one like other family that they had a brother and sister that we grew up with, and like for a while we did sleepovers together to the point where like I don't know if this like co-ed sleepover where we're all sleeping in the same futon thing together is
yeah.
like the vibe. That I will say I had those sleepovers, but like with my friends from school, my mom was like pretty strict about like when I could go to people's houses and like all of that. I think I had a sleepover at my house like once, and then I slept over at one of my friend's house like maybe a couple times, and then I did have one sleepover with. This was like honestly the most out of character for my mom. She let me go to a sleepover at my neighbor's house with her friends, so it was like all people I didn't really know in middle school, but I was really excited about that one because remember the last or few episodes back where I was like I wanted to be you when I grew up. I feel like this girl, I'm not gonna dox her, but my neighbor, she was kind of like low key like. One day she's gonna be like Avril Lavigne, like that was like her vibe and her friend's vibe, and I felt like really cool. But we all slept in the living room, and one of the girls was like, you snored, and I was like, I'm mortified. Okay.
Oh. I remember snoring being embarrassing as a
So
it's so strange.
embarrassing.
I'm a loud snorer.
Me too.
And for anybody that doesn't know, I serve in our church's like youth group as like a volunteer, and we go to like camp and retreats and all sorts of stuff, and I will get in my cabin and I won't warn them, and so it's only the girls that have been in my cabin before, and I'll be snoring, and then the next morning they're like, Faith, do you know you snore?
They're like aghast,
Sometimes it's fun to be like, do I really? But then other times I'm like
like gaslighting them.
I'm like, yeah, I do, you're right.
Yeah.
Nick is also a snorer, and at camp had pillows shoved under his head to try to give him more
Like elevation.
stability and elevation to make him stop. The kids were like,
That's
I
so
couldn't
funny.
sleep. But yeah, snoring was embarrassing as a kid, and
I
like,
know, so
that's
embarrassing.
dumb.
It is. It made you feel like you're the only one, you know?
and you're not
And
like,
absolutely not.
yeah, like honestly, at a sleepover, you could have been like, at that sleepover, you could have been like, no, it wasn't me.
Right.
It was probably you, actually. And then she would have been mortified.
That's true. I could never do that to her, though. I was not in the business of embarrassing people. That was nice.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, like that really was like the most embarrassing thing. Like I feel like that haunted me all throughout, like even college. I feel like I would like fight. I would lose this fight a lot, but I would try to fight like sleeping in like you know, like group settings or whatever, because I was like, I don't want to like disturb other people, because I just felt like I was like the reason why other people wouldn't get sleep. And I remember even like when Luke and I would like hang out and you know, like taking like long road trips in like a friend's car, like try really hard not to fall asleep because I was like, I don't want to snore, which is so silly, so dumb.
Yeah. I'm like not only a snorer, I'm also a mouth wide open sleeper.
Yeah,
like it's
I can be
full
that way
on
too.
like mouth fully open, snoring loudly, probably also like grumbling a little bit in my sleep. And it was embarrassing, but then like now I've like by college I reached the point of like, if it's too loud for you to sleep whenever I snore, which is a normal human thing, you need to go to bed earlier.
Don't make this a me problem. This is a you problem.
Yeah, like if you are such a light sleeper, that you can't handle someone breathing a little heavy in their sleep, that's a you problem.
That's true. Like, sounds like you grew up with a white noise machine and the prestige.
We don't tiptoe in this house.
You figure it out.
Like, I grew up in a house where my dad's snores could be heard on the other side of the house.
Yeah,
like
my dad's
and I learned to sleep through it.
Yeah, see, we're just prepping everyone for the real world, you know?
Yeah. My kid won't be embarrassed with snoring.
This is such a great opening.
We won't let Kiko be embarrassed with snoring.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is the legacy I leave for her. There's no shame in snoring. If it's anything.
Your mom and your aunt were snorers, and it's fine.
It's totally fine. Oh, speaking of which, she's been kicking a lot. It's kind of crazy. I know. It's so wild.
I can't wait to meet her.
No. Oh, which by the way, so sorry that we missed the last 2 weeks of episodes. The first week that we missed, Faith was sick. And then last week, Faith and 𝖼 threw me and Luke a beautiful, amazing baby shower, and there was a lot going on, so we also didn't do anything.
It was so busy. My car, I still haven't cleaned it out. I still have boxes of decor in my car.
Oh.
Yeah, I just haven't been worried about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun. Like,
it was so
once
fun.
we got it all together, I was like, oh, okay, everything I visualized in my head
It happened.
is here.
You did it.
And it looks good.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousins were like so excited
I know.
about it. They were loving it. And they were like paparazzi the whole time. It was great.
They were.
I'm always so bad at taking pictures, and my parents like couldn't be there, so I was like, I need to make sure that the pictures are taken, but I didn't have to worry because they were just like whipping out like the Canon little
film, or not film, but like
digital camera, like
Yeah.
point and shoot. Oh my gosh, I was like, you go girl.
yeah, I loved it. That was so cute.
Yeah, good time.
It was fun.
But anyways,
But we're here now.
yeah.
Yeah, that same week of the baby shower, this is my life update.
Oh yes,
My apartment complex has recently gotten new management, and they were like,
oh yeah,
we're gonna renovate all the apartments, even the ones you're living in. And
sounds
I was like,
nice.
I was like, okay,
but
whatever, cool. And then they tell us they're renovating our entire kitchen and our entire bathroom in one day. And they plan to do 3 units in one day. And I was like, how in the world? So then they contact us. We're like waiting. It's been going on for like months. They're just like making their way around. We've been waiting and waiting. And they're like, we're renovating yours on Friday. And the shower was Saturday. And I emailed the office and I was like, hey, if you're going to do this, I need it done by 5 o'clock.
Right.
I have so many things to cook.
Right.
Please. Like, though I never use my kitchen.
The one time I
the
need
one
it.
time I have to use my kitchen. Any other day I would have said, I'll pick up fast food. I love that.
Right.
Like, no,
Not
I
today.
needed it. So they were going to move us to the top of the list. But then I guess with like snow and everything, it kind of got delayed. And so they ended up doing it Monday. So, which was my day off of work. So I just like spent it elsewhere. We went to Nick's parents and spent time there.
Yeah.
It was really nice actually.
Nice.
I like had my whole Kindle set up.
Oh,
And his mom
nice.
was like, I need one of those.
Look at you.
She was like, I don't even have a Kindle
A
and
little
I need
influencer.
one of those. So we were
you got
like,
people getting Panera Sip Club, you know, people getting Kindles.
Panera and
people
Kindle,
on Capybara
Amazon,
Go.
Kindle, Capybara Go. All 3 of you reach out to me. I have a business offer. But yeah, so we spent time there, which was great. I like napped midday, which I never do. It was nice. But they didn't finish renovating until like 7:30. So Nick and I were like in our bedroom eating food in bed, like please leave our home. the one good thing that has come out of it, I do have a newly renovated apartment. That's nice. That's really nice. The one thing, so we did have a tiny, like, half-load stacked washer dryer in the middle of our kitchen.
Yes.
They replaced that with a single machine
do both?
that washes and dries.
What? The future is
it
here.
Has solved all of my problems.
That's amazing. Because then you could do more.
It's still half load.
Oh, okay.
But my clothes don't sit in the washer wet.
That's exactly what you needed.
It's everything I needed. It did take me entirely too long to figure it out.
Yeah.
It has an app you can download to control it. And, like, there's no lint trap. You just have to wipe it out with a rag because it catches it on the silicone. I don't know. It was a whole thing.
Interesting.
I was in the floor of our kitchen losing my marbles because I was like, what is this? I had to watch a YouTube video. They hid the manual in one of our cabinets. I didn't find it until after I watched the whole YouTube video.
The hammer. They're hiding.
It has been a scavenger hunt in our apartment to find random things that they've hidden. But yeah, so I finally figured it out. But I just set wash and dry, start. It takes it a really long time.
I'm
like
sure.
2.5 hours or 3.
That sounds right.
But my clothes are dry. And then now I have a countertop space that I can fold my
That's
clothes on.
That's true. Okay. You know what?
So nice.
That's nice.
I'm going to get used to it, and then I'm going to have to move to a house where I'll have 2 machines. But
it'll be...
It's fine.
The trade-off will be great.
They'll be bigger.
Yeah.
I'll have
Jabba will be frolicking around.
He'll have a yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's the one good thing I was like, wow.
That's nice.
This is the future.
I've only heard of those machines. I've never...
The future is here, and my ADHD loves it.
I love that. That's so good.
I'll never have a mildewy clothing item again.
That's so nice.
Never.
I hate when you have to rewash it, and you're like...
The amount of...
all that time.
I don't even... That could be one of my embarrassing things we talk about later, is the amount of times that I've had to rewash the same set of clothes. Like, I'm like, oh, shoot, they're in the washer. And I throw another pod in, start it again. Mm-hmm. And then, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, and then I rewash it. My clothes get washed like 5 times.
That's so funny.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But yeah, that's my big life update.
Amazing.
Super adulty.
The only thing that I'll say, I was debating whether I was going to share this, but I'm like, the likelihood of this specific friend hearing this is low. But even if he does, it's like all in fun, you know? This is not like a real beefing thing.
Uh-oh, tea time. Sleepover started early.
Hey. So I don't get like defensive or like territorial very easily, but there was a moment me and Faith were at our like monthly like community game night. I was hanging out, not playing games actually. So
I was just crocheting.
Yeah, crocheting.
Yapping.
Yeah, we were just hanging out. And then we were talking about, I saw this TikTok of someone had put up this like craft thrift store like area in their cafe, or I forget what the setup was. And I was like, Faith, this is perfect, because Faith and I, as you all know, if you've like been here for a few episodes, like we dream about a bunch of things, and one of them is like this like catch-all like cozy cafe that would be like a used bookstore and a coffee shop and like a place for like playing cozy games, like all kinds of things. So we're always thinking about things to add to it, and so that was one. But I was like, that's perfect, we need to have like a little craft corner. And then one of our friends comes in, and he's just trying to try to get to figure out what we're talking about. And so I like trying to like catch him up to speed about like this idea we have. And then he started suggesting things, and I was just feeling like, hey, whoa, this is our cozy cafe.
This is Okay Girl Cafe.
Okay Girl. This is you do not need to be a partner here. You can come and sip some fun coffee and play some cozy games, but do not come in here.
Typical man. Typical man.
Like, he was just like having a conversation.
Bust in with no context and tell us how to live our life.
Because I think he misunderstood. Oh, at first when we were talking about the thrift store, he was like, "Oh, you can just go to like a Hobby Lobby and get stuff." I was like, "No, you don't understand." So then I was explaining, and then he was like, "Oh yeah!" Like all of a sudden he's like in on it, and I was like, "Wait, that's not your thing."
No. Ours.
But I didn't show that on the outside, so I don't know if he's gonna listen to this or not. But that's not a real beef. It was just like a funny beef. But I did feel like, hey, whoa.
This is the one episode he'll listen to and be like, they hate me and I hate them.
We're enemies forever now. What's the opposite of okay? because you know how like there's like the Powerpuff Girls and then the boys or like something else like opposite. You have the Okay Girls and the I don't even know.
Is there an opposite?
Not really. Like,
let's see. Hey Siri, what is the opposite of okay?
If she says not okay, I'm
she said mad. There's something wrong. No.
Try again.
I mean, I guess that is not okay. Opposite? The unwell? Would that be opposite?
Unwell boys. They sound like sickly.
The denial?
Denial?
Forbid? Veto?
I do like veto boys. Veto boys. Okay, that's our
Okay, it did suggest unwell.
Or ill.
Ill boys.
Ill boys.
Ill men. Okay, girls and ill men.
There you go. We get to pick your name.
We're telling you what you have to do now.
So anyways, that's my story of how sometimes I can be like, hey, whoa, get out of here.
I feel honored that Asia's like one territorial moment involved our friendship and our dream.
Yes, this is our dream. Yes. You kind of swoop in.
You put in time and effort and tattoos for this friendship.
Exactly. Before that or until that, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. So you've gotten some tea. And now we're going to jump into our official sleepover activities. Asia came up with all of these. They're amazing. I'm so excited.
So excited.
And so we're going to start off with self-care because every sleepover has to have some sort of skincare that you never do any other time.
I know.
But this is
not part of your regimen.
So I have is it creme?
I think it's
Creme Shop and Pachaco sheet mask.
There you go. Perfectly plump. Mine is I'm rice mask sheet that promotes clear skin. It says this mask is infused with rice extract that will soothe inflammation and improve texture for softer and brighter skin.
Wow. This is for plump and bouncy skin.
Oh, we're gonna look so great. This is gonna be a great look.
Slow down to spend a self-care moment with Pachaco.
Oh my gosh.
For perfectly youthful, hydrated skin.
There you go.
It's middle school, baby.
It is. We're winding back the clock.
All right. Let me get this open.
We'll take turns putting them on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, you want to introduce the topic?
Sure. So in honor of the self-care moments that we partake in any good sleepover, we are going to enjoy these face masks, of course, but then also I want to talk about we've talked about this in different ways or through different lenses before, but I want to talk through what we think about self-care and how I can see there can be a tendency, depending on what circles you're in, that self-care can be you're so focused on yourself that you don't think about other people, or people err the opposite way.
I'm sorry, this is so goopy. Look at it.
That's your youth right there. All that goop. So some people can err on the side of self-care is just you're focusing yourself and you're being I don't know, you're preferring yourself over others in a negative way. And then others can be don't care don't care for others. I don't think that people would say that so overtly, but the most important thing is you. And if you're not right with yourself, then you can't care for others. And I feel there's an in-between that we just breeze past, and I would love to explore our thoughts about self-care, because actually it was inspired by one of the messages at church. This is probably a couple months ago at this point. It was just really interesting to think about how I feel in a lot of Christian circles we can tend to be, because we're oh, be selfless, don't be selfish, we will just not think about self-care at all and think of that as a bad buzzword that we don't want to take part of. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's actually what we're called to. And meanwhile, Faith is, I'm just trying to be cool, and Faith is just looking great already. You look awesome. It's so cute. Pachaco's printed on your face mask.
Batman.
You're
Sanrio Batman.
I'm so glad we're doing this episode.
I was watching myself in the viewfinder. Oh my gosh, I just blew it into my eye. I was watching myself in the viewfinder and I was like, this is so dumb.
You're doing great. All right, I'll let you take over after this one.
But yeah, so where did you leave off? Because I definitely cut you off though.
No, you're good. I left off just kind of talking about like how the church kind of can look down on self-care as like this like selfish thing, and like I want to explore what do you think about that.
Yeah, I really appreciated hearing that talked about, because I do feel like it's so hard to be serious in this. It's fine, it's girl talk, because I have like something that I've always reminded myself of, because I tend to be like a let me do everything I can and never say no person, which I've been working on. But like one good reminder for me is always like you can't pour from an empty pitcher. And so like if you're not filling yourself and taking care of yourself, you can't actually give anything to others. And so like which like you were talking about, there's two sides of it that can go extreme, which is like never take care of yourself or only take care of yourself. And so I think that you do have to strike this balance of like, I'm taking care of myself so I can be the best version of myself and a healed and healthy version, so that then I'm a better person for the people in my life also. Which I feel like some people might just do self-care because they're like, I just love me and I just want to take care of me. But like, it does make you better to like be around and for the people you love. And so like, for me, when I'm thinking of like taking care of myself, it doesn't look like this a lot of the times. I'm not a sheep mask. I'm like low key overstimulated right now. But I'm kidding. It's fine. My skin will be great after this. Yeah. But yeah, so like for me, self-care is like, you know, resting, reading, playing a video game with my friends, or like, you know, like just things that I love and enjoy, and that then fulfills me, gives me rest. And so then the next day or that week or whatever, I can show up for my friends and for the people in my life and just be like the best version of myself, so they're not getting some like cranky, overstimulated, frustrated version of me.
Right.
Yeah.
I just was like noticing that we were looking at each other, and now we are. And I'm also thinking we need to come up with a mask that like allows you to more, because like, mine is like,
let me just talk to you like this.
I'm gonna open this mouth hole a little bit more, because I feel like I can't talk.
Let me just get real comfy.
Yeah, this is the time. Okay. Okay, great.
Back to our thoughts.
Yes. And I feel like very contemplative if we're looking up, just like
it's like therapy.
I know. We're therapizing each other.
And our audience.
Everyone.
They're our therapists right now.
Yeah.
Listening to us
that's true. You guys be our therapists.
We think
we're just verbally
therapists?
processing.
Nope.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think what's interesting is like, it's I feel like a very natural and not accepted, what is the word I'm thinking of, like the cultural norm, I guess, is that like either you're others focused, community focused, or you're like focused on yourself, and like you can't be your truest self unless you're focused on yourself and not like focused on the people around you. Like there's like these two competing realms of thought, or two different philosophies, when really like you said, like really valuing self-care is like something that contributes to your community.
Yeah,
like we can't all be pouring from empty vessels or whatever, and so denying the fact that you're human and you need rest, you need time to like decompress, you need time to be creative, be whatever, shoot baddies and Valorant, whatever, whatever you need to do self-care, like that stuff is important and not just like frivolous, you know, like it's not just like a vanity, it's not a vanity thing. I mean, it can be if it's like imbalanced, but there's like a true like purpose to it. That's not like that's not taking away from community. It just makes community more healthy and sustainable.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. I feel like I do think it's interesting too, like trying to navigate the balance of like you were saying, like saying no to things when you need to say no.
Yeah.
I think like figuring out like how to maybe like there's one thing to like in theory think through like, oh, how can I set boundaries, and you can say like, oh yeah, in theory it makes sense that like, I can't say yes to everything. But I think what keeps us from like actually in practice setting those boundaries is like we get so stuck in like theory of what that could look like and we don't just practice it. Because I was talking to Luke and I were talking to a couple from church, not about specifically self-care, but the idea of like doing things that are good but like you need to give yourself grace to like clunkily get through, like figure out like how to like get better at said thing. I think like setting boundaries for the sake of self-care is one of those things of like, I feel like people never end up saying no to things to rest because they just are like, I don't want it to come across like like I'm dismissive of other people's needs or like I'm being selfish or whatever. They just never do it. I'm like, you have to give yourself grace, especially in like within the security of like relationships that you already have, that like you can say no, and even if it comes across weird, you can just like have that conversation to talk through like, hey, I didn't mean it as like a negative thing. You have to like give yourself space to like try it.
And another valid boundary is just not right now.
Like, right.
I think that a lot of people think like I'm setting a boundary, which means never. Right. And that's not the case. Like if someone were to come to me and say like, oh, I would really love if you pitched in and helped me like plan some event, or like if you could like serve our church in this way, and I feel like I'm at capacity, I'm not going to serve well either way, like immediately. And so I can just say, hey, like I would really love to do that, but I'm just like can't right now, and I would love to later. And I've used that a ton of times, like and because it's true, like sometimes you just have too much going on, and like you do have to prioritize the things that like give you life and give you joy, and like sometimes you do have to like there are times in your life where you can just say no to everything. And just like rest. Right. And then there are times where you have the capacity to be like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do that too. And I'll do that. Like, and if you're taking care of yourself well and resting well, then like you have that opportunity. You
can do that in like a sustainable way. Yeah, absolutely. I think what's interesting, I feel like I might have talked about it here before. I don't remember. But one of my favorite things, and so I'm sorry if I've repeated myself. One of my favorite things I ever heard about like humility was from this book that I keep saying that I don't remember the author. I need to just like take 2 seconds to like look up the author. But she writes about like Christ being the perfect picture of humility, and if a lot of times in Christian circles we talk about humility as like, oh, it's just like not thinking high of yourself typically, or something along those lines. But if Jesus is the perfect like if he's the embodiment of humility, then that can't just mean that. Like it can't just mean like he didn't think of himself, because he would be like saying that he's the son of God, and like, you know, saying all this stuff, like, that, like saying, it can't just be that,
saying that and then being like at the same time it doesn't matter,
right? Exactly.
Which doesn't make sense,
right?
And I mean also with that, it's like if we're believing that we're made in the image of God and created to be reflections of him, and then like don't take care of ourselves, or just say like, oh, I'm just nobody, and I'm just here for other people, it's like, but that's not how you would treat God,
right? Exactly. And so this like theory of humility, it was like, instead of just thinking lowly of yourself or not thinking highly of yourself, it's like you're acknowledging the humanity of yourself and other people who are image bearers of God. Like you on one hand, it gives you patience for other people when people make mistakes, or when they're not able to like, you know, show up for you the way that you would want, or you know, or fill in the blank, and like just acknowledging like people are human, they need rest, they have limited capacity. But it's also like for you as well internally to think, especially for my type A lovelies, that like you think like, oh, I need to be on top of this, I need to like have capacity for this, and you have everything like structured or whatever, but like acknowledging that like you also are human and imperfect, and even if in theory you come up with plans, like if your plan doesn't like come to fruition, that's not saying anything negative of you as a person. That means that you're just a person who also has limited time and resources and whatever. And I thought that was like such a great, because then yes, Jesus did like display that perfectly, because like he had his like 3-year ministry, but he also slept, he also rested, he also like ate food and like did it and said no to a lot of people, which is interesting.
I think a lot about that verse. I wish I was better at remembering the exact, like, I'm so bad about being like, there's a verse somewhere that says this thing, but there's the verse where it's like basically one of the disciples is like super worked up and just like, you know, like just like not well, and Jesus is like, hey, go take a nap and then, like, eat some food. And it's like, that's what we have to do.
For real.
Like, we're humans, we're limited, and like sometimes you just need to like go take a nap and eat a snack that you really like, and then wake up and feel better.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
that's okay.
Oh, so good. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But self-care is important. It's not frivolous. It's not like, oh, I need to cave and do this. Like, it's an important like responsibility.
Yeah. And it also, I think the important thing for me to have learned, like, for me, it was this way of like, this isn't what self-care looks like for everybody. Like a sheet mask or like a spa day or meditating or whatever. Like, for me, like, truly self-care is like, I get to watch a trash reality show and crochet, or I get to
peak television,
peak cinema. Yeah, I get to watch peak cinema of trash reality and crochet, or I get to like play Overwatch and rage because that's nice for me. Yeah, because I'm an angry person.
Yeah, you
and
just need to unleash a little bit.
It's nice for me, you know, like. So for my girlies that are like, I'm not a soft girl, I'm not a skincare girl, I'm not, it exists for you. If you need to go to a rage room, go to a rage room. There you go. The world is like a mess right now, and like, you got to deal with it how you can. Yeah. Because if you don't, then like there's not people out there taking care of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways.
This is nice though.
It is very nice.
Your flowers on, if you guys don't know, but Asia has 2 lights in her ceiling of the studio, and she painted big yellow flowers around them, and it's like perfect for this.
I'm so glad. Dude, we're gonna fall asleep in this episode. Let's just take a moment and fall asleep for a second. Here. Everyone, just take a moment with us, okay?
Here's some spoken word for you. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Where's the up of that song? Where does it get better? That was a downer.
That was a downer, but like, I feel it with you, you know? That's part of self-care, just embracing.
Do you know that there's still a chance for you? There's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Own the night like the 4th of July. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, I'm feeling refreshed.
Yeah, that's great. We just never know what we're going to talk about in these episodes.
It's been more than 10 minutes for my sheet mask.
I know, I think we're good. I hope that everyone's so proud of us because we both are ADHD girlies, and I think both were kind of overstimulated, but we really focused.
I saw you other. Kept pushing yourself, and I was like,
just falling down.
We're preaching self-care and like putting ourselves through a nightmare for the bit. I do feel really nice.
This feels great.
The reward is worth it, you know?
It really is. I feel like we should
move things around.
Yeah. Let's give us a moment.
We should give our skin a moment before we do anything else. Do we want to do truth or truth?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So I have a story to tell while we get set up for that.
Yes.
So I told Asia, we were talking about the sleepover episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should do that thing that you do at sleepovers. Where you put your hand in water and it makes people tell secrets when they're asleep.
And then I just was like,
Asia
oh, yeah.
just took it and was like, that's a great idea. She's like, we can do that. I get in the car and I tell Nick, and Nick's like, I'm saying, I told Asia we should put our hands in the water, and then he's like, oh, and then you pee yourself. And I was like, no. And no, you tell secrets. And he was like, he like laughed at me. He was like, He was like, no, the thing goes that you put your hand in warm water and it makes the person pee themselves. And I was like, no. When I was growing up, I remember saying, if you put your hand in water, like, the person's asleep.
Right.
You dip their hand in water and it makes them tell a secret.
Like, in the moment, or like when they wake up?
I guess in the moment.
So Faith is telling me this today as we're like prepping for the podcast, and I was like, dude, I was just going with it because I was like, I don't know, I'm from Guam. I also didn't go to that many sleepovers. Like, what do I know? Because I also was thinking like she was gonna say, are we like peeing ourselves like during this podcast? Like, what's happening right now? But then she was like, and tell secrets. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I mean, this is just like adding to my cultural experience of being in the States. I don't know.
Apparently, I Googled it too to see if I was like, no, somebody out there. No, nobody.
Just you.
I'm convinced that happened. That was a thing we talked about doing at sleepovers. But
maybe that was a
Nick was like
small town thing.
Nick said maybe they were just trying to trick you into peeing.
Maybe.
I was like, that's rude. So that's
like, we got her.
That's me setting the scene for our embarrassing thing. So we're doing truth or truth.
Yes.
And basically we're gonna share like secrets, embarrassing things we do, like listen and don't judge style things.
Yeah.
So I have a couple. Do you want to start? Or do you
yeah,
want
I'll start because I have 4.
Okay. Yeah. You start.
All right. So I'm gonna start off so vulnerable and strong. This is Jacob. Jacob was one who outed me. Luke. Okay. First of all, on the regular, Luke says, dude, you're so weird. And then I asked him, hey, what weird things do I do that I can talk about? And he like couldn't think of anything. And then I asked Jacob, and I did think he was gonna roast me more, but
I did too.
Yeah, but he came up with one that like not a lot of people know about, and it is kind of weird. Okay, but to preface, well, okay, this is an overarching thing. The biggest thing is like not that secretive. I like to pick at things. Like I have an issue with like peeling my like nails. Like if I have like press on nails, like, and it starts to lift a little bit, like I always find myself like picking at it. I also, Faith is basically like extension of this home at this point. But there are many times where the three of us are just talking, and then I just like walk up to Jacob and I just start looking for white hairs to pick out.
It's like literally like a wildlife documentary where they like dig through the hair and like pick out the bugs.
Right.
Except that A's just digging through and looking for a white hair.
It's true.
Plot.
I know. It's just, I don't know. It's so satisfying. It's like, it's not what is that like condition called when you pull your own hair? I forget what it's called.
Trichotillomania,
something like that.
or something?
It's not that. Like I don't do it to myself. It's just like, oh, here's the one white hair in Jacob's jet black hair. Like that's so satisfying to pull that one thing. But then the peak of the weirdness for this, and this is like I told you guys that I don't have my license. I've shared so many secrets I'd never tell anyone. Might as well tell people this. I have like weird toes, okay? And with that,
it's a wild story.
I know. And with that, my like, I guess like the ring toenail and the pinky toenail, the nails grow up. And so it is a sensory nightmare for me, like I'm putting on socks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I will always find myself like picking like instead of like using like a clipper or whatever, like just like trimming them back down with my fingers. And it'll be like while we're watching a movie or whatever, and Jacob will catch me and then just be like, and he'll put his hand on my, and I always say subconsciously I'm hiding it too, because I'll be like under a blanket doing it.
Yeah.
And so he'll put like his hand on the blanket on my feet and be like, let them grow. You'll never know. I'm like, I do know. They just grow up and then they fall off. It's like so weird. I don't know. My cousin calls them mango toes. So
mango toes,
because they're weird. I don't know. I don't want to like satisfy all the weird foot fetish people.
Those of you in the comments asking for our feet in frame, no, go get off the internet.
Right.
I want to validate you and say that I also pick my toenails.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, girl.
And that was actually going to be one of mine. And then
Really?
Nick told me, because it was my toenails and my face.
Okay, yeah.
And Nick was like, that's not weird.
Oh.
So now I'm like, maybe Nick's also weird.
Maybe.
And the three of us are just all weirdos.
Jake is like, I only have so many hands to stop you guys.
He's in his own foot.
Yeah, he's like, stop. No more.
I do, of course, only do it in the comfort of my home.
Yes, of course.
And then I throw the nail away.
Yes.
I don't just leave it on my couch.
Right.
I don't leave it on the floor. But like sometimes mine, they just grow long, and I'm like, oh, it's bugging me right now, and I have to solve it.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing like with my face. My face could be the clearest it's ever been, and I get in the mirror before the shower.
You find something.
Shower goes cold because I'm in there like picking at anything I can.
Dude, that is part of the vibe. Is the shower goes cold.
Shower has to go cold, and
why is the water still on? I don't know.
I pulled every single blackhead out of my chin that I could see.
Oh yes, I feel you. See, we're the same.
Yeah. So now Nick can't. I asked Nick for assistance on this because I was like, I think I'm normal, but other people perceive me not normal. I'm sure. Like it's human nature. That's just
life. Yeah.
And Nick was like, you don't do anything weird. And I was like, what the heck? So I was like, embarrassing? And he was like, no, because anytime I do anything weird or embarrassing, you say, stop, that's weird. And so then I was like, great, I'm just the boring, basic girl that doesn't do anything weird.
Faith is not basic. She does like to shop at Old Navy, but she's not basic.
I do like Old Navy.
Though, side note, I was texting Faith and Eva this. I did not know Old Navy's game when it came to baby and kids clothes, because I've been looking everywhere for like colorful, not pastel color clothes for babies. And I'm like, why is this so hard to find? Or why is this onesie like $70? I don't understand. Old Navy, dude. So good.
Don't sleep on Old Navy. Here's my mildest one. Okay. And it's that I use Apple Maps literally every time in the car.
I love that.
Like Nick did say this one was weirard. And it's, so driving to work, I use it because you don't know what traffic's going to be like.
True. Yeah.
We live in a bigger-ish city. And so like Louisville traffic's kind of bad. Yeah. And so I have 3 different paths that I take to work, and I like to switch it
route.
up.
Yeah.
And so I go the shortest. So that's fine. I could literally be going to the store that is it's on the same block as me. I can see it. Yeah. I'm not kidding. So I work at a place, and then literally from the window of my office, I can see the Taco Bell that I go to. I put it in my maps. And then I do 2 stops. I add the stop for Taco Bell and the stop back to work.
That's so funny.
And then I press go, and I drive there, and I drive back.
It's amazing.
I don't know how I'd get lost. I know exactly. I could walk there.
It's just like your security blanket, you know?
Yeah. It is. But I use it for, it could be like,
it's like one less brain cell to be used.
Yeah.
You know?
It tells me what to do.
Yeah.
Then that's what I need.
Yeah. That's your self-care right there.
That's my self-care.
Your moment by moment.
I will say I've started using Waze because Apple Maps, not reliable. Waze is all like,
we used to use Waze all the time.
Self-reported. Also, I like that I can make my car cute.
It's so cute.
My car right now is like, I think it's an alien.
Oh, that's cute.
There's something like, they had like remember the Life of Pi?
Yes.
They had the little boat.
Really?
I had the boat
that's
for
cute.
a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We should use Waze again.
Waze, hit me up. I'll add you to the list. Panera, Waze, Capybara Go.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one I have is this one, I don't know if this is that weird, but Luke thinks it's weird, I think. When I'm like processing through life stuff, I'll just like make little sing-songy songs about it and sing it to the dogs. You know, they're like my captive audience, especially Pocky, and I'll just be singing to her and so normally to set the scene, I'm like, let's say I'm singing to her laying on the bed with her. She has this weird thing about like when she feels like her weight is displaced weird, like on like a surface. And so like if I'm laying too close to her on the bed and like the bed starts to like bend down and she feels like she's like rolling towards me, I'll like sing to her, and then you just hear her high pitched. She's like breathing hard and she's like stressed out. And here I am just singing about whatever, like how to be more assertive or
wait, so you're not singing about the bed moving?
No, that's just the setting, you know. So I'm just like singing to her about like trying to grow as a person.
That's great.
And she's rolling towards me on this bed because I'm laying too close to her, and she's like, and then like strong arming, like trying to push against me because she doesn't want to fall into me, and I'm just like doo-doo-doo, like singing songs to her. I'm singing all kinds of things.
That's really
sometimes I practice songs for Kiko to her. Aww. And be like, do you like this?
Do you like this, Pocky? Pocky's just sitting there.
Yeah, that's like it's like my Snow White moment, or like Disney princess moment, where I'm like, let me just sing to these dogs, and meanwhile Fuji's just like happy to be there.
Oh, she's loving it. Yeah. That's hilarious. I also have one dog related.
Okay.
We're so bestie vibes.
I love that.
I am the opposite. I argue hard with Jabba. Like it's kind of a problem, and sometimes I feel bad, and I do apologize. Which might be the weirder part.
No, I love that.
The other day, here's a great example. The other day, I gave Jabba a treat, and he ate the treat, and Jabba likes to... He doesn't know what savoring is. He eats the whole thing, no chew. Swallows. The whole thing. So I give him like this stick of a treat, and it's like not hard, but it's like a soft stick. He just ate the whole thing, no chewing it. And I'll tell you how I know that. It's because later he hacks it up and vomits. I'm in the bathroom and I hear him like hacking. Yeah. And then I look and he's thrown up onto the carpet, the whole stick in the middle of it. What does this freak do? He eats it. He eats the treat again. And so then I'm yelling at him about how nasty he is. I'm like, you are disgusting. Get away from here, you freak. And he just like backs away and looks at me because he has an attitude. And so then Nick is calling me because he's on his way home from work, and I'm yelling at Java about how he's a disgusting freak, and Nick's like, what is going on? And then I'm looking around the house to try to find the cleaner, and he goes back again to try to eat more, and I'm like, you freak, what's wrong with you?
I love you raging with Java.
He's just staring at me, and then like I'm like, you know, sometimes I stoop a little low, and then I'm like, maybe you don't understand me. Oh, that's right. You're a dog. That's why you can't understand me. You don't know English. And then sometimes I point out he doesn't have thumbs.
I love that.
Like, I'm like, you wish you could hold something like this. You can't. You don't have thumbs. And then I feel bad, and I'm like, Jabba, I'm sorry for what I said earlier. I didn't mean it. I was upset.
It is kind of funny though, like criticizing pets. Like just yesterday, Jacob was sad that like Fuji like wasn't laying on the bed with him when he was wanting to cuddle her. So I was like lecturing her. I was like, listen, your papa doesn't have a full-time job. He barely has a part-time job, and he spends all his money on your medical stuff, and you are like, the least you can do is just like be around, be available, when he needs you. And I think you're like not appreciating that, and I'll just talk to her that way, and she's just like, huh?
yeah Jabba just stares at me. I will say sometimes we like, you know, we'll beef because he'll bark at me for no reason. Or like if I'm not picking him up and putting him on the couch or something, he'll like growl at me, and then I'm like, "What is your problem?" And then eventually I'll put him up on the couch, and he'll keep growling like under his breath, like it's like a, and then I just do it back. And we just
that's so good.
Back and forth at each other. So it is. He sometimes responds. He does know don't backtalk, and then he backtalks me. But yeah. So
Pocky is just like when she cries, I'll literally be like, what did I say? No woman, no cry. That's what I say to her all the time. Which it doesn't stick. She doesn't get it.
No cry. Yeah, but that's probably like one of the weirder things that I do.
That. That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. One that I this might be an ADHD thing. I'm not really sure, but I definitely mimic people all the time. Like I do it to like, I think subconsciously, like try to understand other people. Like I will just like copy their mannerisms and say things they will say, like just straight up like mimic them, because I like want to get to know them better. And I feel like that's a weird, like, I don't know, like I don't think the normal people do that. And, but thankfully I work from home, so people don't hear it as much, but I definitely do it with my coworkers. I'm not gonna lie. If any of them listen to me.
That's amazing. I was thinking more that you were meaning like picking up mannerisms over time.
That I also,
but
that
no,
for sure.
Mimicking people right off rip
Yeah.
is crazy work. I love that. I love
Thank
it.
you.
That is
Thanks.
weird, but I love that.
Thank you.
I will whenever I read a book.
Uh-huh.
And I think this is also like a neurodivergent thing, but I read a book and it'll talk about like a facial expression and I can't understand what it looks like, and then I'm like
thinking through it.
and I like try to do the face, or I try to like, you know, they'll be like the eyes darkened, and I'm like,
you're like
like reading the book.
Yes.
Like,
what does that mean? Yeah, I love all those like meme TikToks that are like people copying or like trying to like visualize like what's being described,
what their face is doing. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
All right, my last one is that this isn't so much, it is weird, but it's more so like a shame thing, but I'm also owning it, and it's that I'm a creature of habit. And so that's a vague thing. I'm giving you an example. Just wait. I'm a creature of habit, and I like to do the same things, and I like the same stuff, and once I find something I like, I do it over and over.
Right.
My car, I like my seat and everything in the same spot.
Yeah.
And Nick always messes with it, and that's whatever. It's fine. I get it back to where it needs to be, because I don't want my knees too tight. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
I put my foot in the exact same place in my car. I don't know.
I've
I think I've only told Asia.
Yeah.
I've only told Asia, I think, this because she drove my car to practice driving. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast.
No, I don't think so either.
But I drive in the same position. I like my foot in the same spot, and I don't have floor mats in my car because they didn't come with it when I bought it used, and I just never bought any. Because that's another thing that's weird about me, is that I don't think they're necessary. There are a lot of things I don't think are necessary in life, but I put my foot in the same spot so much that I have essentially Fred Flintstone my floorboard, my whole a hole like 3 inches deep.
Yeah,
probably
it's a whole groove
in my floorboard. Like if I press down, I can feel the like plastic metal like pop when I push, but it's like a whole divot, like a crater in the floor, and it's where my heel goes, and I don't get stuck in it. It fits my foot perfectly. But when Nick drives,
custom car.
When Nick drives, he's like, I my foot gets stuck, and I'm like, it's because it's not for your foot.
it's for
my foot.
It's my car.
It's my car. It's my foot. So that's it's a little shameful, but it's a sleepover, and we're being vulnerable.
Totally.
And I put a crater in my floorboard, and
I
it's
love
fine.
That. Just your custom car. That's all it is.
Car.
Yeah. Okay, this last one is something that actually, so it's not like a regular occurrence, but it's something that happened that I keep like, I actually haven't told Luke yet. And I'm like, do I, or do I just like move past it? And it's what this embarrassing thing happened, and it's fine. So I mentioned before that, or I think I mentioned it here, or I might have mentioned on one of my streams, that like our friend Tori, who just had her twins.
Tori, hi, we love you, and we love your babies.
Yes, they're so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, one time, I think this was on a stream, she was telling me that like when you're pregnant, your body like takes way longer to digest food, and so it tends to like ferment in your insides, while just because it takes longer than normal. And so I found a byproduct of that is sometimes the farts are quite rancid. Okay, it just happens. All right. And there was one day, I don't even think Jacob was home. I was in the living room, and Luke was playing games in the living room, and Fuji was in the living room. And in addition to that context, Fuji also was dealing with an ear infection. She had a cone on, and it was like the first day, and so she smelled like extra stanky. Okay, like her ears were smelling stanky. So while Luke is playing games with his headset on, like not paying attention, I'm watching a movie or show or something, I let one rip, and it smelled bad. But like you can hear it. It just smelled bad. And I just saw Luke like kind of looking around like where's that coming from?
My gosh.
And then so that happened, and then I didn't say anything. I just kept watching my show, and then I went up again because my tummy's feeling weird, and then he turns around and he's like, do you smell that?
Oh my god.
like a weird like food smell or something. And I was like, I didn't say anything. And then third time, that is the last time I let it rip again. And he was like, dude, I smelled it again. And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's Fuji. And then Luke put Fuji in Jacob's room. He's like, okay, Fuji, you stay again.
Oh my gosh. That.
And then I felt guilty. I was like, should I tell Luke about this? And then I never did.
I love that you just told the internet. And
I know.
that's wild.
Sorry, Fuji. It wasn't your fault. Oh,
That
yeah.
is wild.
I
Wait,
just had to share that with you all.
so I love that you just like your instinct was to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's weird. It's bizarre. What is that from?
That's wild.
So, every once in a while, I'm just not as confident in myself and be like, yeah, that was me. I know she was like, I literally could have just left and like gone to the bathroom, but I was like too lazy and feeling like pregnancy sleepy, and I was like,
You don't have to go to the bath. Like, wait, are you saying you would go to the bathroom just to fart?
No. I mean, like, I didn't know if like there was like,
like
okay, tummy thing.
I got you. Okay, I was like, no, just fart.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. You should just start blaming Kiko.
There you go.
You should
Yeah.
be like, I don't know. I think it's Kiko.
I think it's just Kiko.
I think Kiko. I don't know. I think she did that. That's wild. I was not expecting that to be what just came out of your mouth.
We said truth or truth, right?
I'm clipping this for TikTok.
Good.
That's how Luke will find out.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Then that'll be a double-edged sword thing. Like, one, it'll be me owning up to the truth, but two, also if he doesn't find out, he needs to be more on top of
get on
being
our
a fan.
socials.
Yeah. Are you an ill
An
man?
ill man?
An ill man or an okay girl? Time will tell.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Those were great.
so great.
Thanks for bearing your soul.
Yeah, you too.
All right. So we had more planned, but this sleepover, it's like it's getting early in the morning.
It's
We got to
true.
eat breakfast and get to our
not
our
sleep.
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no sleep.
No sleep.
Another club, no sleep. But I hope you enjoyed our self-care moment, our
so great.
face mask moment, us bearing our souls to you. That was true 3 a.m. talk.
It really was.
Except at 3 p.m. for us.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
fine.
could listen to
It's
this
3
at 3 a.m.
somewhere.
and then
Yeah.
tell us things in the comments.
Yes, exactly.
You can tell us in the comments or DM us or anything. We just want to hear your sleepover talk. Let's hear it.
Please.
If you wore a sheet mask or did anything sleepover for this, please
Take a picture.
Please send us a picture.
Yes.
Post it on your story. We'll share it to ours,
We'd
or
love
just send
that.
it to us and we'll share it on our socials.
Or tell us how you do self-care.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah. You don't have to do it, but we'd love to see if you did.
Yeah.
And don't forget, let me just make sure I remember everything. We got a lot. Rate, review, subscribe. Reminder, TikTok is not dead.
Yeah,
I will
not yet.
continue to post there. We got like probably
Dude,
60 days at this point.
TikTok's been like popping lately.
Yeah.
You all
I
are relating to our weird takes, so thank you.
I'm learning how to clickbait. I'm learning how to use the 6 second attention span, whatever. But follow us on all our socials. Rate us 5 stars. Review and follow our podcast on all the platforms. We just hit we were hitting some milestones. On YouTube, we hit 40 subs.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Which is big.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I love that.
I'm excited for us. So go tell your friends so that we can hit 50 next.
Please. They don't want to be ill boys or ill men. They want to be okay
men.
girls,
Yeah.
I just know it. And then your delulu to dulu for today is, girl, it's about that time. I think you are overdue for a rot day. You just need, it's actually, let's just call it a grand slam. You need to rot day, you need to have a girl dinner, and you also need to have your self-care moment. You just need all three, the trifecta. You've been going at it, rocking it for so long, and now it's your time to just rest, rot.
Yeah, it's not rotting for you. If anybody asks, it's not rotting, it's resting.
Exactly. But anyways, I'm Asia the girl.
And I'm Faith Okay.
See you next time, besties.
Bye.
Bye.
skin does feel nice.
I know, it feels great. You're gonna feel all glowy in
rejuvenated on my 3 hours
yeah,
of sleep.
exactly.
True sleepover.
Perfect.